everybody. My name's Chris Warren.
My name is Matt Lopes.
Welcome to the You Should Be Worried podcast.
Chris, I got a fucking question for you.
What's up, Matt?
Chris, if there was a train, right?
Okay.
And the train is like heading for a raccoon that's on the tracks.
Okay.
And we know, obviously, that raccoons are your probably number one favorite animal.
They're like number 3.
Oh, what's number one?
Cats.
Cats? Okay.
And then it goes possums, and then it goes raccoons.
Okay, so there's a cat, a possum, and a raccoon
Fuck.
on a train track.
Fuck, dude.
And
They're probably all friends.
And you have the option to divert the train.
Yeah.
But if you divert the train, then you are the cause that the train goes and onto another track that kills 10 human being homeless men. Homeless people. Hold on.
Okay.
Because you don't have to do anything, right? You could let the train just go over the cat, possum, and raccoon, and you wouldn't be at fault. It would just be sad.
Yeah.
Right? Do you pull the lever?
So a couple questions.
Okay.
So they're 10 homeless men, you said?
10 homeless men.
Am I going to get any legal repercussions?
No.
Okay.
But it does speak to your morals.
Yeah, I mean, those 10 guys are dead before they even knew it was coming.
I was literally, I feel like Chris and I locked eyes for a second. You said homeless people, Matt. I was like, they're getting decimated.
Yeah,
Are you
dude.
kidding me?
They have no loved ones.
Do you know Chris?
Bro, we vote Republican in this household, okay?
Holy
Those
shit.
homeless people are gone.
Oh, no.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
But like the cat, possum, and the raccoon, they don't know you, Chris.
But after I save them, then we're going to get ice cream. We're going to become friends.
Yeah, but they don't even know what you did. They're not like conscious.
Dude, I'm like their guardian angel. They don't need to know. I just know that they're going to go on and live and be happy. I just know that they're...
And then like later that night, they just get eaten by like wolves or some shit. And you're like, yeah, still worth it.
Yeah, I bought them like an extra 4 hours. That's definitely
Jesus
worth 10 homeless
Christ,
guys' life.
dude. Holy fuck.
Because you got to think, if they're on the train tracks all together, that's a weird assortment of animals. They're probably all friends.
Yeah.
They're probably all buds. They were hanging out by the train tracks and they got stuck.
Like a homeward bound situation.
Yeah, like, you know, so I'm not going to like break up a Disney movie.
Really
just 'cause
what
some
it
homeless guys.
was the opossum got his tail stuck and the cat and raccoon couldn't just leave him there.
Oh, because they are all our friends.
Because they are friends.
That's great.
And therefore, like, if one dies, they all just got to go because they're not going to leave their boy there.
That's real, dude.
But then let me give you the backstory of all the 10 homeless men.
Okay.
They're doing a strike. They're laying down on the train tracks
Okay.
in protest of like housing crisis.
You know what would be a great protest they could do for the housing crisis is get a job. Get a job, make money, pay rent, and then that would solve their own. That would be their protest. To live in a house, that would be a protest, I think. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how, did you just do Psych 101? Did you just discover the trolley problem?
No. I like the trolley problem.
Okay.
But then that accident happened. You see that accident that happened where all those like 700 like people passed away?
Wait, what?
That train
No.
accident. Yeah, and like I don't know what it's called.
Is
I
this
don't
in
know what the place-
America?
No, it was in another country. Like 1,200 people were injured and 700 people died in this like not Dubai. It was a horrible like train incident where somebody who I don't think they know who's responsible yet turned the lever and the train like who had a bunch of people just fucking rammed into this stationary train and went off the tracks and fucking killed some people. And then another train fucking came from the other direction and smashed into that one because that one like went into another like track. Shit was nuts. I saw it. It's so nuts seeing all those like just seeing a bunch of dead bodies and like Twitter's like not like they don't give a fuck. They'll show you everything on Twitter. Twitter's nuts.
Dude, Elon's repping, dude. He doesn't care.
Yeah. How many pets did you have growing up?
So growing up, when I was born, my parents had 2 Persian cats
Okay.
named Gloria and Louise.
Horrible name for cats.
Yeah, and they died like when I was in the 4th grade, somewhere around there.
Gotcha.
And then
How did they die?
just they were old. Like my parents had them for a while when I was born.
That's it? They just old age?
Just died.
That's
Yeah.
the worst.
I mean, maybe there's something out that's what I was told is they died of old age.
I had a cat called his name was Stitch. And guess why?
Wonder who named that.
And when I was like 3 years old, Stitch got ran over by an 18-wheeler.
Is he from like
All 9 lives like that. One side of the truck was 9 wheels, just one after the other. Fucking decimated this man.
Like the scene from Pet Cemetery, a ball went out on the road and he ran out and you're like, no, and you were trying to run there and you kept tripping.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
It's before 95.
I realized after I said it, the reference was lost.
Dated. It's a dated reference.
Yeah.
You ever have any gruesome pet deaths?
So almost in the sense, so the first dog that I had like with my family, he ran out in the road. Like I didn't like watch it, but like from a distance, like watched that dog get hit by a car.
No, you saw it in person
And
happen?
then, and the person drove away. Too.
No
It was bad.
way.
It was bad.
I don't think that has anything to do with why Ben got into comedy later in life. I don't think that fucked him up. I don't think that fucked him
I
up at
remember
all.
being in the
That's
bus on
nuts.
middle school and being like, I'm going to get my dog's name tatted on my arm. Fucking love this guy.
That's so
That'd be
good.
great. Got Fido on your fucking forearm with flames around it.
It's just a bunch of
Fucking
frisbees.
flames.
Dude, I did have this one cat, Cyrus. Who fucking
Okay.
ruled.
Crazy
Cyrus.
name. Crazy name for a cat.
Cyrus ruled, dude. And he was this fat tabby cat. Like, he must have weighed like 20, 30 pounds. Like,
Okay.
but he was like muscular. He was built like a linebacker.
Yeah.
And he used to like just be an outdoor cat, and he would go like hunt stuff and just bring like mice and squirrels and birds to the door. One time he went after a turkey. Like, I was looking out, there's a big field behind the house I grew up in, and there's this turkey. And he like ran up and jumped on its back, and it like freaked out, and he rode it for a little bit, and it threw him off. It was
Holy
like,
shit.
It was like the Serengeti. But
How is it like the Serengeti?
because like when a lion jumps on a water buffalo,
And then
it's-
but
it's like a turkey and
like that.
a house cat.
Yeah, yeah.
But the way he went was bad because my mom would feed him salami every day. Like, he didn't eat cat food. He ate salami because he loved salami.
Processed deli meat salami.
Like, she would go and get like 2 pounds of salami, like at the deli for my cat. Like, no one else in the house ate
Holy
salami.
shit.
And so then, like, when he was only 5 or 6, he had a massive heart attack and died. He had a massive heart attack and died in front of my autistic brother, who did not handle it well and has really never been the
fuck.
same since. Actually, come to think of it, that might have been what gave him the autism. That might have like shorted him out. But
Really never been the same.
yeah, all of a sudden, then all he wanted to talk about was anime, and I'm like, oh, I think he's taking Cyrus's death hard. But it's great because to this day, if I ever want to fuck with my mom, which I always do, I'll just be like, hey, Mom, remember Cyrus? He was a great cat. She's like, oh, yeah, he was great. I love that cat. I'm like, yeah, too bad you fed him salami till he died.
Just make your mom fucking
And
feel bad.
she'll just start crying and leave the room. It's great. It's a great tactic.
You always gotta make your mom sad, huh? Who are we as good children if we don't make our parents
Yeah, I was going to say
worry, sad for fun?
that I just messed with her, but then I realized that like the way I live my life already makes her sad enough, so I don't think at any point it circles back into happiness.
We're going to Rhode Island. Rhode Island was it Rhode Island? Yeah, Rhode Island was
yeah.
fun. It was a fun time.
Rhode Island was a roller coaster of emotion because
It was
our original
quite a
show,
night, dude.
our original show got canceled and we were all bummed.
Yeah.
But then Matt hit me up. He had the plug. He's like, I found us a different show.
I got us onto something way more elite. No, not way more, but all right. I got us something else. There you go. Because like hell yeah, we did that show. That show went really
So
well.
much fun.
And then
Well, we gotta tell them where it was. It was like a pop-up show at this indoor archery tag place where they had like bow and arrows, but the arrows had big foam balls on the end of them, and you shot each other with the bow and arrows. I kind of wanted to play.
it's sick, and it seemed like it was a sick place, but I don't know if I was like a place that's like that. I feel like you have to have multiple kinds of sports.
Well, my thing is,
That place only had like everything was bow and arrow related.
well, yeah, because they only had the one thing, and they had like paintball, like blow up bunkers. It was like paintball with bow and arrows. But I was talking to the owner, and he was so excited and like jazz on. He was a really nice guy, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is not a great business model. This is like laser tag, but not as accessible.
Yeah.
Like, it's like with less of a market for it.
With like less ammo.
Well, because
Laser tag is unlimited laser,
we were playing around with the bows, and I shot it like 2 or 3 times. I was like, that was pretty cool. I think I'm done with this now. Like, that's the kind of place you go
Yeah, for
once for
sure.
the novelty, and then you never go back.
It's like a carnival game.
Yeah.
And like you're not gonna play a carnival game for fucking an hour and a half. You're gonna play it for 10 minutes and you're gonna move on to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. It was a nice place though, and using it as a backdrop for like comedy was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Like, I love spots like that where it's like getting photos like in front of a background. That's just cool. That's one of my favorite parts of comedy.
That's what Matt lives for, dude.
I do fucking.
He doesn't care how much the pay is or what the time is. Just
care.
what's your background situation?
I kind of get a good photo of this for Instagram.
Yeah, we talking see skyline on a rooftop. We talking is the.
I want a rooftop show so bad, dude. I want to do fucking rooftop shows. So many comedians are like, "No, it's a bad idea." I'm like, "Fuck you,
Matt."
Yeah, it's because you've already done a rooftop show.
Matt sits there on my Instagram profile and just stares the picture of me on a rooftop. He's
Yeah,
like, that son of a bitch thinks he's better than me. You think you're better than me?
You fucking goes to do a rooftop show and then he fucking says rooftop shows are bad.
Yeah,
Your comedy at an elevated level.
none of my other accomplishments have even phased Matt, but the rooftop is what makes him resentful.
It was a 20-person audience on some abandoned roof somewhere.
Were you at the show? It was very accurate of what that was. I was in like Bushwick, Brooklyn on a roof with 20 people. It was actually a pretty fun show. It was like,
fuck you, dude.
It was a pretty fun show. I'm not going to
Probably like the most fun I've ever had. But
Well,
no big deal. No big deal.
Cause
not really because we were on a roof.
it was a bunch of Brooklyn hipsters.
Uh-huh.
And so they had like a blow up kiddie pool.
Mm-hmm.
And there were just like chicks in bikinis hanging out in the kiddie pool like while you were doing your set. So there's like the rows of seats, and then to the left was the kiddie pool with like just 3 babes hanging out drinking seltzers in the kiddie pool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I made them laugh. Not a big deal.
So fire, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
I have to address it.
What?
I'm tired as fuck.
I noticed, yeah.
I gotta fucking talk about it. Last night I was doing a show in New Hampshire, and that show went great. And then I went to go see a friend doing a show in Boston on my way back to Connecticut because Boston's kind of on the way a little bit. And we ended up staying. That show ended at 11. We ended up going to a bar right afterwards. And then we stayed out until fucking 2, 3 a.m. at that bar. And then from the bar, we went to IHOP. IHOP from like 3:30 in the morning till like 5:30 in the morning.
I like the concept of you at a bar and everyone's like drinking a lot and having a lot of fun. And you just sitting
water.
there. You're just sitting there like, when the fuck are we going to IHOP?
Dude, 100%.
You're just like, I don't care about
That's
this
exactly
shit.
what was fucking
They're
happening.
like, Matt, get drinks. There are girls here. The music's great. You're like, they don't have pancakes though.
They don't
so
got fucking full
why the fuck? We're in this lame ass club. They don't even have marinara sauce here.
I was so pumped to go to IHOP. And then I got to IHOP and it was a 24-hour IHOP, so you know it's just not going to be good.
Was it Wyland?
The butter, yeah, people were fucking there at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I've never been out that late with you at the fucking diner where you live. Like I've never been out that late, and people were fucking just there. Like it was a whole scene of it in itself. It's crazy. 24-hour any restaurant is not a good restaurant. You can't fucking like the butter was frozen. Like I imagine getting pancakes and then getting a cup of small balls of butter that you can't even fucking like spread onto the pancakes.
That ain't it, cuh.
That's horrible. It was horrible. I was just eating regular pancakes with syrup.
Like everyone
That's
else
it.
is just drunk and enjoying their food and laughing, and Matt's like, my fucking butter's
I'm like
frozen.
half asleep.
Bullshit.
I'm getting so mad at the butter. We're having a great time like with the comics and shit, like just hanging out. But then fucking I'm so sleep deprived. The sun was coming up as we're leaving, so it's already like today. And I have a 2-hour drive, 2.5 hour drive back to Connecticut. I drop where I need to drop off home, and then I take a 2-hour nap on a rest stop off the highway, and then I wake up, drive the rest of the way home, and then get like another 2 hours of sleep. I'm fucking exhausted,
Matt,
dude. I'm exhausted.
After this Friday, I worry about you driving on the road because you were driving us, and
I fell asleep.
You fell asleep more than once at the wheel, and I would like hit him in the arm, and he's like, "I didn't fall asleep," and I'm like, "Dude, yes, you did. We almost just
I
died."
denied it. I did deny it. I was like, no, I
like no.
was sleeping.
That's the scariest position to be in. Is Chris's situation? I've been there before. I've had to wake up my brother a few times. Like, yo, like let me just hop on the way. He's like, no, stop.
Well, I don't drive manual, so we were just trapped. We had to do it now. Because I would just sit there and I'd be like, me and Matt would be like mid conversation, be like, yeah, right, Matt, and Matt would just be like slumped on the steering wheel. I'm like, yo, wake up! What
You're
the fuck?
the side fucking bump, the bumpy things.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I told
have.
you he fell asleep in Discord the other night. we thought he was.
What
snoring.
is it?
We thought you were
What is
snoring
this?
like because it sounded like
joke.
comical snoring.
Yeah.
And then it lasted for way longer than the bit needed to. And I was like, I gotta throw him in the AFK chat. This is crazy.
He moved me from the main chat to another chat, and I was just snoring all by myself in that chat all night. I woke up like, what? What's going on?
Matt, we got to tell the people about how we gave back to the community after the first show on Friday.
Hell yeah, for sure.
So after the first show on Friday, we got an offer from someone else that was on the show last minute that there was this YMCA across town, and a bunch of high schoolers were doing like a lock-in in the auditorium for
like
their graduation.
Yeah.
And the hypnotist they had hired canceled last minute. So obviously the next logical conclusion was...
It's like, you know what? Instead of putting all these kids to sleep, it's midnight. I want to go to sleep.
But
this is like, I want to put myself to sleep, actually, instead of getting this money.
But we're pros. We showed up. They're like, the next logical step is to get Matt and Chris here to talk to impressionable children.
And at first, there were the guidelines were no swearing, like be very clean.
Well, and then the host goes up and just starts saying "fuck" every third word. I'm like, okay, I guess that's out the window. Like,
no, I knew as soon as we walked into the building, all the teachers and the staff were like, listen, they're graduated. It's nothing they haven't heard before. You can kind of do whatever you want to do. And then the host went up and started fucking doing that shit. And then I don't know. I feel like you and the other comic before me, like you guys were trying to like make it like a proper, like appropriate in some way.
yeah.
But I don't know. I couldn't. I've bombed in front of teenagers before. I'm never gonna do it again. I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice. The last time I fucking did a show in front of teenagers, I kept second guessing myself because I didn't want to swear. I didn't want to talk about sex or anything like that in my set. And so I was like, can I say this? I can't say this joke. I kept saying that on stage in front of them, and they're like, no, come on, say it. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't. It was the worst. You can't do that as a comedian. You can't fucking tease that you might say a joke and then not say the joke. And so I bombed that one. But then last night, or that night, the one we did, I was like, you know what? I got to fucking... I'm not doing that same mistake again.
You went for it.
I went. The first thing I said was, I'm not fucking around, all right? And everybody on the staff was like, all right. But the kids loved it. I had a great set.
That's awesome.
I had a fantastic set. All the graduates were like, fuck yeah, like I'm for this.
The kids did not like me as much as they liked Matt. I am not.
Chris really tries to throw in the trans material in front of like impressionable. Half that audience was trans. Half the, you know how high school is nowadays. Half of them are trans now.
Listen, it's not. The jokes aren't anti-trans in any way. I just think
it's not.
They were
but it makes them uncomfortable.
They were uncomfortable with a straight white guy.
You got to think
talking about that.
They're at an age where they're like, "Are we allowed to be around this right now?"
Well, no. I think also where it went wrong is like halfway through my set, I was just like, "Yeah, it's wild to be in here, guys, because legally speaking, I'm not allowed in a school zone." But
and I laughed. I loved that shit.
I was like,
but everybody else was kind of fucking like, what?
I was like, yeah, it was a last minute booking, so no one did a background check, thank God. But if anyone wants to hang out after the show, I'll be outside, need a ride or anything.
So funny, dude. And that shit was so funny.
And the fucking teachers lit me. They were like, yo, that's good, you done.
You're done.
You're done. Like,
that is the most admirable shit I've ever heard in my life.
It's so good.
That's awesome.
And you know it wasn't a time thing because he was the second comic up.
Right.
You know? It's not like the teachers were like, we have to get this show. Like, you know?
They're like, I think this man is
dude.
dangerous. We've made a mistake. You need to leave, sir.
Holy fuck.
Oh my God. That's...
He had the best set, from a comic perspective to watch, you know? But from an audience perspective, especially when the audience is like a bunch of 17, 18-year-olds that are all impressionable by, like, they're all afraid of saying anything around each other.
You know what the issue was? Because I did my first joke kind of like not as offensive.
Yeah.
And they all laughed at it. I got a big pop off that. So it was like, oh, they love me. I can talk about whatever I want now.
Right.
Like, you know, instead of like being, oh, that worked, I should continue to do that. I was like, let's go from 50% to 100. And immediately that was like not the move. I did like that part where another comedian friend of ours he was up doing his set. And he asked, who's the smartest kid in the school? Like, who's valedictorian? and everyone without hesitation pointed to the one Asian kid
Dude,
in the auditorium.
That was so funny.
And they weren't doing a bit.
So funny.
They were just like, oh, yeah, it's him.
Like, it must be him. It's got to be him.
And
Because they probably don't know
yeah, no, it is him.
No, because the valedictorian was not him.
Oh, was it?
One or two people was pointing at the valedictorian. Everybody else was like,
pointing
the
at the
Asian boy. Asian boy. Stand up. Or whatever his
Yes,
name
that
was.
was his. We probably shouldn't be naming.
It wasn't.
It was.
All right, you're going to have to bleep that. All right, bleep the whole
Yeah, we
thing.
probably shouldn't. We don't know if he was like an 18-year-old graduate
Yo,
or like a
watching
17-year-old
him get
graduate.
up, he was so confused. He's like, what? he stood up so slowly, like, you guys calling my name?
Yeah, he stood up. Matt, what should the people be worried about?
The people should definitely be worried about, what do you call it? There's, all my favorite TV shows, like, as of recently, ended last week. All of them.
List them off.
Succession is done forever.
Done.
Barry, done forever. Fucking Ted Lasso, done forever.
Done.
And then they also had the season finale of Dave this week too, I believe. I think it was the season finale. That shit was fire.
But that show's still going.
That one is still
Okay.
going.
So you
but
still got
like
one.
still 3. Fucking 3 is nuts in 1 week. Like, what are they fucking doing? What
That's
are they
good,
doing?
though. They'll be great shows now forever. They'll forever be great shows.
Yeah,
I
they-
get that, yes. But it's just awful planning because like now, like I'm depressed. And I feel like they're doing that on purpose. You definitely, if you guys should be worried about anything, it's just fucking, it's big TV companies fucking organizing their shit to all end together so that we get sad and we stay inside and then we're fucking forced to just watch whatever's fucking next that comes out. That literally is how I feel. And you can't go on Twitter, right? You can't like save that shit. You can't like, ooh, like, oh, I'm not going to watch Ted Lasso because I know it's the last episode, so I want to save it. Because you can't go on Twitter anymore because as soon as you go on Twitter, everybody's already talking about Ted Lasso, Barry, Succession, all that shit. So you can't avoid it. So you have to watch it the night it fucking comes out. And so like I'm sitting there emotionally fucking not horrified, but like emotionally stunted and shit because I had to watch the end of Succession and Barry in the same night, and then 2 days later I had to watch Ted Lasso finale, and all them like I just don't feel like I had I had the right amount of time with each ending. You know, I feel like all right, it's all back to back to back, fucking great.
But think about what that did for all of their viewership. Like, they know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? You think that's a good idea?
They're like, everyone's going to be on TV for so long because all these fucking shows are coming to an end that we've had them like by the balls by.
Yeah, but then once that,
Dude,
after
they got
that
shit
week, though,
planned for when we're dead. It's out. It's coming. They know it. They like whether they have it or not, it's going to be there. So what they're doing right now is just part of the cycle. Then we'll go through a dry phase and then we'll get more good shit. You should be worried.
It can't be bangers all
Definitely,
day,
you should
every
have
day,
to be
but
worried about it. I know. That's great. Chris, what do you think people should be fucking worried about?
you should be worried about being the last friend in your friend group from high school that doesn't have kids.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Because I'm not quite there. There's still a couple friends without kids, but they're
Yeah,
all like
They're
married,
on their way.
buying houses, like they're definitely getting ready,
Yeah,
like, in the
yeah.
next year or two.
Uh-huh.
And so now, like, my friends have kids, right? And they're young. They're like new young parents. So their kids are like 1 to 2 to 3 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like they introduced me to their kids as like Uncle Chris, and I'm like, bro, I should not be any sort of like
Uncle.
authoritative figure to this child. Like, I thought you loved your kid. Listen, we're friends. I appreciate
If you
that.
loved your kid, you'd keep them far away from me.
No, it's like you can keep me around, but I should be a cautionary tale.
Right.
You shouldn't be like, this is your uncle. Listen to his wisdom. Like, that's not a good idea.
You
Like,
shouldn't be around too often.
yeah.
You should be around like every Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, like once or twice a year. You know, like give them something to look forward to because you're definitely gonna fuck their kids up for a good like 2 days.
Well, they invited me to their kid's 3rd birthday party. And I'm like, do I seem like a good fit? Because also I know the thing. It's like it's going to be all their other friends from work that
Yeah,
also
yeah.
are parents.
Right.
So there's going to be a bunch of parents bringing their kids to this, their other 3 and 4 year olds to this 3-year-old's birthday party. And then I'm going to be here dressed like this, smoking cigarettes. Like, this party's lame as fuck,
No,
dude.
you got to go in with your dope ass perspective where you're like, You're like, oh, y'all have kids?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Yo, you know how much Coach Kane I did off a stripper last night? It was nuts.
And you have to convince their kids to not have kids. So that way, even though your friends wanted to continue their bloodline, it ends anyway.
Yeah, I'll pull the kid aside and be like, hey, you know how you ruined your parents' life?
You don't want to have someone ruin your life.
Like your dad Kyle used to be fun. We used to do fun things. Now he's lame. Yeah. Your mom yells at him and he just takes it. He doesn't stand up for himself.
You ever heard of fentanyl?
Yeah,
your dad used to do that. And now he doesn't anymore because you're here.
You know what's actually funny? The guy that I was thinking, who's not named Kyle, but the guy I was thinking about whose kid's birthday party was, did. It's pretty on point.
I know my boy.
I like to imagine Chris at the little kids table, like with the little kids furniture.
Yeah, they do.
Sitting with them.
I
having,
love
like,
that
the
idea.
Fake tea and stuff.
So good.
He's just like,
talking
your dad
about Dota
used to be fun. Now he takes shit
It's a
from your
great
mom.
skit idea. That's a fantastic sketch idea.
Yeah, I'm talking about my like adult problems with them. Just like, yeah, man, like comedy's just so much fun. But like, I always think like, what if it doesn't work out? Like, I don't have a backup plan. Like, I'm 30 years old and I don't have a wife or a house. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
And they hit you with like little kid answers, like, oh, just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or just pray to God about it.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Easy for you to say. You got no fucking responsibilities. You have no idea the pressure I'm under.
No prospects. You're not going anywhere, Paul.
The line's supposed to be orange.
You can't even color inside the fucking lines, Paul.
Well,
You're gonna tell me advice about my life?
Newsflash, Paul. Your dad told me you did 2 years of kindergarten because you're special. So maybe shut the fuck up when the big boys are around. Yeah. Well, no, and then it's like I'm worried because right now it's just the shit like that where like the birthday parties, you know, and it's like really a party for the adults, but it's like all the kids are there.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that like because their kids are eventually gonna start playing sports, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm worried that like the kids that I'm the uncle to, quote unquote, that I'm gonna be like obligated to go to their sporting games. Like if one of the kids makes it to like regionals or whatever for lacrosse as like a 8-year-old, they're like, oh, come on, little Paul's in you know, he's the captain of the team. They're going to states. You want to come with us to like Massachusetts to support? And he's like, he really looks up to you. And I'm just like, fuck, I really don't want to do that.
Right.
But then it's like if I'm like the kid's favorite uncle, like I'm gonna have to go do that. I'm lucky though because I'm terrible with kids, so I will not be the favorite uncle.
Would you deny if you ever gotten the opportunity to be a godfather for a kid? Would you deny every opportunity to do that?
Well, it depends.
How close the friend is?
No. It's so I guess it would depend on that. I don't think I'd be asked if it was someone I wasn't.
It can't
close
depend
with.
on the kid.
No. That's not that.
Because what are you gonna be at the baptism being like? Nah, the vibes aren't here.
Well, no, cause
this kid's not cool enough to be my godson.
Because
He's fucking 2 months old.
There's several things. Because all my friends that are Catholic
Mm-hmm.
are like legit Catholic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they like go and they believe that shit. And so that's the only time you have a godparent is in Catholicism. And part of the job of the godparent is even when the kids are, you know, even if the parents don't die, right? Because obviously you raise them if the parents die. But then also it's like you're supposed to assist in the child's like Catholic faith.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm Jewish, so I don't think they'd ever ask me. And if they did, I'd be like, hey, you know what's cooler than Jesus? Temple.
The Talmud.
Talmud's pretty sweet.
Guys, thank you so much for watching the podcast. My name is Matt Lopes. Of course, if you liked this podcast, you can go and watch all of our other ones, like those other ones, comment on the ones that you like just to fucking, you know, help us out with the algorithm. And we have a show coming up on July 21st at the Stress Factory Comedy Club in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Please, if you guys want to come, it's going to be so fun. We're going to be fucking doing stand-up comedy, which is what we're best at. And so you're going to have a great time. Get your tickets at stressfactory.com. If you want to look me up on Instagram or whatever, it's Matt Lopes. Chris, where can they find you?
Guys, you can follow me at Chris Warren Comedy on Instagram. And this week, this is dropping this Wednesday. So this week, you got 3 chances in 3 states to see me headline. If you want to see me do a longer set, on the 8th, I'm in Woodbury Brewing Company in Woodbury, Connecticut. Come on out to that. On the 9th, I'm headlining over at the Nook in, what town's that?
Westfield, Mass?
Yeah, Westfield, Massachusetts.
Springfield?
And then on the 10th, I'm doing Nothing Sacred Comedy in North Jersey. So
Ooh.
3 chances to see me 3 states. Come see your boy headline. We'll have fun.
And Ben, you guys can follow Ben, obviously, at BennyBoy_28 on Instagram, and anything that has to do with In the Making, go and support that shit, because that's really funny. Sketches, all the shit, really funny shit. Anything else? Did I miss anything?
I'll be at the Apollo next week. I'm at the Comedy Cellar after that.
Hell yeah.
and then I have 2 sets at
Go support your boy.
you know, the Improv in California. So
Hell yeah.
Brea Improv, baby, catch me.
My phone is dead, so we can't do the regular outro. So we're just gonna be like, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one, and we'll fucking see you around. All of them together. All of them together.